Hello everyone, and thanks for tuning into the Financial Investor channel. My name is Brent, and today we're going to be doing our stock market weekly change for the 6th through the 10th of May 2019. We're going to quickly go over last week's changes, which are up on the screen currently. We're going to go over the four main index changes for this week's stock futures going into Monday. What stocks had the most movement after hours? Take a look at the entire S&P 500 for the week. Lots of stocks out there down several digits there. We're going to take a look at semiconductors, financials, oil, wrap it up by going over the dollar, silver, gold, and bonds. So if you are brand new to the channel, hit that subscribe button below. I do cover the stock market, dividends, entrepreneurship, real estate, personal finance. And if you have other suggestions for topics, leave them in the comment section below. Drop a thumbs up if you do enjoy the video, and let's go ahead and get into the video. So last week's changes, we had some really positive. Basically, besides the Dow Jones there, everything else was up. S&P up 0.2%. The Dow Jones was the only negative there, down 0.14%. The NASDAQ was positive by 0.22%, and then my portfolio was pretty much positive by 0.77% last week. So I beat out the S&P, the NASDAQ, and such, but this week I did get a little punished, which we'll cover here in just a minute. So the S&P this week, down 2.18%. We had a bit of a rough week. So last Friday, I believe, sometime last week, President Trump came out saying that the trade talks with China were not looking good. They're going to be enacting a 25% tariff. In addition, they're going to be bumping up from 10% to now 25% on Friday if China's not, China and the US are not able to come to an agreement. And from Monday up until Thursday, the markets just were hammered because of uncertainty. Nobody knew whether the stock market should move higher. Nobody knew whether it should move lower. So there's a lot of uncertainty out there. So that caused the markets basically get hammered Monday through Thursday into the negative. Now, Friday at 12 o'clock, I believe at midnight, futures went into the negative, and we opened up. We tanked early on Friday morning, but after, the decision was done, there was no more uncertainty. We enacted tariffs. Now tariffs went up 25%. It's said and done, and it's going to be out there. And the markets, there's no more uncertainty. It happened. And the market began to recover by the end of the day, actually moving up and ending up 0.37%. So 5-day change down 2.18%. Year to date positive 14.94%. This is still in, I believe, second place currently. The Dow Jones down for the week 2.12%. Basically Wednesday, it's not really positive, it's not really negative. This is positive, but it's basically flat on the day. And NASDAQ again negative across the board. This was our second loser this week, down 3.03% there. Up, still in first place year to date, up 19.32%. And then I thought the Russell had actually beat out the NASDAQ. The Russell 2000 is down 2.54% this week. Overall, year to date, up 16.64. This one's actually bounced back quite a bit. This one's actually in second place. So NASDAQ in first, Russell 2000 in second, the S&P in third, and in last place is the Dow Jones. So some of the most stock futures currently looking about flat. We're looking for some sort of trade talk during the week, or something that can kind of prop up the market or drive it down even further. Now, we ended on a positive note on Friday, so generally when we ended a positive note, we may continue on a positive note of recovery into the following weeks, depending on how earnings overall haven't been that bad, just continued there. Now, some of the most active stocks here in the after hours, we have Weatherford International down 72.1% after hours. Apple continuing to fall, trying to find its sort of bottom out. So Apple does a lot of business overseas. I believe their estimate was about 25 or so of their revenue comes from overseas in China. So tariffs are going to play an effect on them. Back in the past, when initially President Trump was coming out saying that they were going to bump up tariffs by 10% to 25%, that really hurt Apple initially. That's what initially caused Apple to fall down into that $160s, $140 range. So we may see Apple continue to fall just slowly if it falls slowly, it may find a bottom all on its own about 192. Then I believe like the second place is around 184, and then it may trickle down, or it may find some support and get bought back up because of their positive earnings and their services continuing to drive forward and their increased dividend. I saw Intel get slammed pretty hard this week. I know a few investors out there were messaging me on Intel in the after hours at 0.11%. Pfizer, so a couple of these healthcare, General Electric, JP Morgan. Financials are bouncing higher. So a few financials in the after hours moving higher. Now S&P 500, this is the 1-day performance. You can see Apple on Friday, because of the trade war, tariffs rising, that really hurt them. They were coming in a recovery phase. They hit what, $214, I believe, was their high here just within the last 2 or 3 weeks, and now they're falling down, currently closed at $197.18. Now I saw a ton of investors over on the dividend Facebook groups buying up Apple, 192, 193, a couple of 194. I did buy back into Apple this week. I forgot at what point I bought back into it, but I definitely could have got a better deal, but that wasn't the whole plan of it. I wanted to sell my positions because I felt 208 was a very high position for Apple, the current valuation in the place with tariffs and such kind of going back a few weeks ago. And then with this whole movement that we've had this week, I had a plan in motion. I've been posting it over on Facebook for the last few weeks. Is I sold 45 shares. My plan was to buy back either 46, 47, or 48 shares. I had different dollar points. I had different limit buys, and kind of going back, I wasn't sure where the bottoming out point would be for Apple. My actual, if I wanted to pick up 47 shares, I believe my bottoming out point was actually around 198, and then my 48 shares was at 193. So I actually ended up buying at $203. I ended up buying 46 shares back versus I sold 45. I picked up an extra share just because of the equity that I was able to attain, and then wait for that drop and then buy back in. I always wanted to buy back into Apple. It's a long-term play, but I just felt I have so much of my position in Apple. I probably own around 15,000 or so within Apple alone, that it's just a very large portion of my total portfolio. So that's why I had done that. Now, overall, for the 1-week performance here, we can see that every sector out there is basically red. There's no one sector that's specifically green. There's a few sectors there in the healthcare area that have been hammered just over the last few weeks from the Bernie Sanders and the whole health movement, where they want to, basically give healthcare to everyone, and that really slammed out of a few of these. I have a coworker at work who actually he owned United Health Group, and it had been getting slammed these last few weeks. Instead of keeping it, averaging into it, as I suggested, he did sell it. He bought up Zoom, that new IPO, because his wife his wife used the equipment at work. They were profitable. They have had a lot of good movement. I believe Zoom has a very new IPO. I don't know the ticker symbol specifically, but I know it's positive here, I believe, for the week. Anyways, Apple down 6.88% on the week. Biggest loser out there outside of, within the consumer goods area. That's one of the biggest ones out there that got bled out. Now, I did buy back an Apple at 203, so that's a $6 loss for 6 by 45, so that's about a $270 some loss there for my initial purchase, but that's completely fine. We make it about $35 in dividends here, which are paid to me next Thursday. Intel down 10.72%, Texas Instruments and Broadcom financials. So when this sort of movement takes place in the market where every single sector gets slammed, that's a buying opportunity, because not one specific sector is getting hit for any specific reason. If you saw a company get really hit because of their earnings, they miss revenue, they miss earnings, they guided lower, they're not going to be as profitable in the future, and they were slammed, or a specific sector got slammed because of regulations, then you kind of want to avoid that stock specifically, because of that reason. But here we have a very broad market, all sectors down, which means across the board, the overall valuation of the entire market has kind of put a blanket on a ceiling, and now we're getting a little bit of pressure from the tariff. So this could be a good buying opportunity for a lot of you guys out there. we might begin to move forward here in the few weeks. It might take a couple weeks to kind of just get over it and see how the new tariffs play out over the next 3 months or so, and the next earnings. That'll be very important. Semiconductors negative for the week 4.58. Financials down for the week 2.10. Oil down 0.23%. Had a couple positive days on Monday. I don't actually have any news for Monday, but Tuesday and Thursday in the negative here. We can see Tuesday news there if you guys would like to pause the video and read through all of these. But there's just some pressure coming in from overseas. And then on Thursday, oil prices fell due to the United States and China kind of battling it out, and the surprise fall of U.S. crude stock prices there. So the crude oil is still in that $60 range per barrel, dropping down from, I believe, $76 to $66 just a few weeks ago, and it has been slowly kind of creeping or kind of staying in that area, which is basically why oil is about flat or down 0.23% for the week. Now, dollar is lower this week. We started had some highs here in the $97, 90.47 or 97.47, and it just kind of trended down lower, and we closed here. This continuously moves, but here as of the current time, it's at 97.32. Now, silver is down for the week, actually below that $14 point. So I was actually very surprised here that silver has continued to kind of stay below this $14 point. You can see here that it's closed below $14 here on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You can see a lot of volume here, but overall, I'm not sure if this is probably a sell-off. You can see these are probably pushing it lower and lower as silver is getting sold off, maybe as investors who were taking advantage of silver at this lower valuation begin to move their money into the market because of the lowering cost of specific stocks out there that they found were out of value. Gold is the positive one of the week, up 0.65%, and bonds were also positive this week, 0.28%. So kind of a way to hedge your portfolio if you were to buy into bonds. Now, another position I would just like to take a quick look at, AT&T. I would like to just see how much that has moved for the week. Okay, so AT&T down 0.26%, while the rest of the market here is pretty rocky. Now, mortgage rates up. Oh, down a tick. Down 1 basis point. So they were at 4.3% last week. They're staying here pretty steady. 4.29, 4.3. So if you're going out there and getting a home loan, you'll probably get a range anywhere from 3.75 to about 4.75 on your own property. If you're a veteran, I've had rates offered as low as in the 3%. I've had another offer like at 3.75. I'm not looking to refinance or buy another personal home. Well, I am looking for another personal home, but I've got a lot of offers of 3.75, which is back in 2013 levels is when I was getting those 2% rates. So kind of interesting to see mortgage rates have dropped by quite a bit. And kind of some news over on the stock market here as far as what I posted for the week. Now, I thought Boeing was going to do pretty hard due to this crash. I'm not actually sure how they ended up trading down for the week. Let's go ahead and punch in BA. So Boeing this week down 5.79%. Monday down 1.29. Tuesday down 3.87. Thursday down 1.56. And just overall nearly down 6% on the week. So I know a lot of investors were buying into Boeing, and there was just no really bottoming out point for Boeing until they kind of resolve their issues, and who knows when that'll take place. Plus, all the volatility in the market just kind of has that upside down. Last week, I had 3 days of stock purchases. So if you watch my Monday video, I bought on Monday my $115, or maybe I had some dividends in there. Then Wednesday, I got paid out some more dividends. And then Thursday, I got paid out another batch of dividends. So I actually had about $160 of dividends. I'm not sorry, $150 or so dollars reinvested into the market. Of that, about $40 of that was that. Oh, here it is. $30 of that was just dividends get reinvested into the market, which picks up more shares, which will pay out more dividends. So it's kind of an interesting there. And yeah, big discount. Have China stocks, you may be getting a big discount. Kind of posted that out there. Stock futures were down 400 points on Monday, going into Monday. Then they dropped 500 points going into Tuesday. This was an interesting one. One of my friends, he was taking a look at a property, and this was in there. So I thought that was the most awkward way of installing an oven there. So global shares are across the board, red, red, red. So there's my 3 buys for the 6th of May. That was last Monday. So on Monday, here are my buys. So I did have some dividends get paid out. There were my $30. Oh, this is for the total week. So total for the week, I had $30.24. This alone did not increase my $4.02. That was my Monday buys. They increased it by $4.02. Across the board, everything was red. Just continued red throughout the week there. And yep, here's my buy of Apple. So I rebought Apple at $203, somewhere within that range. Just see if I had $203.22 there was my buy order. It was executed. Those are all my positions over on Merrill Edge. And Apple, yep, down for the day. Yeah, I hit it some. Oh, this is 202. Yeah, I wasn't sure where they were going to go, but there's a lot of volume, a lot of sell-off there for the week. Tesla, I thought this was kind of an interesting one. So over in Amsterdam, they're looking at banning all polluting cars by 2030. So that's only 11 years out. Imagine electric cars overseas and such. So property values have been kind of creeping down ever so slowly since September 2018 from highs there. Stamps. This was a pretty crazy movement. Now back on highs here of June 20th, 2018, Stamps.com was trading, or the Stamps.com stock here was trading at $244. Now, I'm not sure whose part. I believe I know I covered this in the past video, like a long time ago. I don't remember the specific details, but they didn't renew something, or some other company didn't renew their sort of deal, and that caused the stock to drop by 50%. And recently they came out with some earnings which caused them to drop another 50%. So not looking so well there for Stamps. I got my appraisal. So on the 6th of May 2019, I was over getting my appraisal done. If you guys have not checked out my video going over my very first appraisal process with tenants in place, so I had to communicate with my property manager, had to have communication face-to-face time with my tenants that they didn't know I was the owner. So kind of interesting. I got like a peace of mind knowing that my properties were actually getting taken care of, because I was able to walk through with the appraisal, take a look at the outside, take a look at the inside, and actually got my appraisal back, which was, pretty good. So I will be getting some cash back out of that. And let's see here. Yep, overall for the week, we already sort of covered this. S&P 500 down 2.18. The Dow Jones down 2.12. The NASDAQ down 3.03. And then my portfolio for the week down 2.26%. And Apple does play a nice portion of that. We can see here. I'm not going to give the specific accounts, the accounts wise. The IRA alone is what holds a lot of my Apple. That is down 3.09. That's why when I bought in at 203 and it's down now to 197, that's $6 per 46 shares. So that caused me to go down 3.09. So overall for the week down 2.26%. Kind of keeping along with the markets, but Apple did help me go a little bit faster and below there. So that is it for the weekly recap. If you guys did enjoy the video, again, hit that thumbs up button below. If you guys do enjoy the video, do enjoy the content, hit that subscribe button below. If you guys would like to see specific videos created covering specific detailed topics, leave them in the comment section below. I go over the stock market, dividends, real estate, entrepreneurship. If you're interested in any of those topics or would like to have them discussed here on the channel, drop them in the comment section below. And thank you all for tuning in. I will see you next time. Have a great day. Bye.